Hey there, to write an equation of ellipse, we want to put it in standard form, which is x minus h squared over something squared plus y minus k squared over something else squared equals 1. Always equals 1. Go ahead and organize your terms. Make sure the squared terms have a coefficient of 1. Complete the square. Don't forget to count for factoring. We're going to talk about that. And make sure it all equals 1. Let's do this. Let's start with this equation. 4x squared plus y squared minus 24x plus 4y plus 24 all equals 0. Let's organize our terms. What this means is get our x's first, then our y's, and then set anything without a variable over to the other side of the equal sign. To do this, we can simply grab our x terms first. That's going to be 4x squared minus 24x, like I did right here. Next, let's pick up our y's. We get a y squared plus 4y, as you can see next, plus y squared plus 4y. We want everything else over to the other side, so I subtract this 24, giving us equals negative 24. Check. Next, we want all our squared terms to have a coefficient of 1. So let's find our square terms. Here we have 4x squared. The coefficient is 4. So to get rid of that, we want to factor that 4 out. Doing that, we're going to get 4 times x squared minus 6x. All we did was factor this 4 out from our x terms. Next, looking at these y squared plus 4y, we've already got a coefficient of 1. Perfect. I'm just going to group those together like so to keep myself organized. And we still have our equals negative 24. Beautiful, so we have an x squared with a coefficient of 1 and a y squared with a coefficient of 1. Check. Next, we want to complete the square, also not forgetting about factoring. So, to do this, let's go ahead and start with our y squared term first because this one's a little simpler, so we'll get over to the x squared in just a second. So remember, if we want to complete the square, I'm going to give ourselves something to add here. We take our b term, which is 4, divide that by 2. That gives us 2. We square that. That gives us 4. And this is what we want to add to both sides. And that's exactly what we've done. We've added 4 here, and we've added 4 to the other side. Next, let's go ahead and rewrite this with a little space so we have room to complete the square. There we are, x squared minus 6x. Let's go ahead and cut our b term, our middle term, by 2. That'll be negative 6 divided by 2 equals negative 3. Square it, that equals 9. This is what we want to add to both sides. Alright, so that's exactly what I did here. I added 9 here. But before we go ahead and add 9 to this side, we have to account for this 4 that we factored out. We didn't really add 9 to the left side of the equation. We added 4 times 9 to the left side of the equation because we would have to distribute this 4 in. So what we really added to the left was 36. Again, 4 times 9. So instead of adding 9 over here, I'm going to go ahead and add 36. So make sure you pay extra special attention whenever you complete the square and you have factored something out. You have to distribute, then add that number to the other side. From there, let's finish completing the square by rewriting these as perfect squares. Doing that, we'll get x minus 3 squared to represent our x's here, and we'll get y plus 2 squared to represent our y's here, and combining these, we'll get equals to 16. Completing the square, check. Last up, we want to make sure that everything's set equal to 1. Right now, looking at our equation, we have it equal to 16. So if I want to get that all equal to 1, all I've got to do is divide everything by 16. And I have to divide this whole side by 16. So I'm just going to divide each term by 16. From there, we can go ahead and simplify. You're going to see we have this 4 over 16. That's going to leave us with x minus 3 squared all over 4. That 4/16 turned into 1/4 plus y plus 2 squared over 16, nothing to change there. And of course, that's going to all equal 16 divided by 16, 1. Perfect. Looks like we have our equation of an ellipse in standard form. We could make our last check mark. Boom. Done. Lovely. Let's do one more for good measure. X squared plus 12y plus 3y squared minus 3 equals 0. First, rearrange our terms. Boom. We put our x's first, then our y's, set all equal to whatever does not have a variable. Next, get coefficients of 1. In the x term, we've already done that. That gives us x squared plus, factor out a 3. 3 times y squared plus 4y, giving us a coefficient of 1 for the y squared, and still equals 3. Next, let's complete the square. Again, looks like our x squared is already done. So we want to cut this 4 in half. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Square that 4. We add 4 here, and then we account for this 3. That'll be 3 times 4. So we add 12 to the right side. Finishing off the completing the square, we rewrite this y squared plus 4y plus 4 as y plus 2 squared. Almost done. Next, we just need to set it equal to 1, so we'll divide everything by 15. After doing all that, we're just going to be left with x squared over 15 plus y plus 2 squared all over 3 over 15. So that's going to give us the denominator of 5, all equal to 1, and we are done.